What is up, everybody? Welcome back again. This is Battle of the Americas number 12, I believe it is. Yodaslim is my name, and I'm joined, as always, with Light VIP, man. How's it going?
It's going good. It's early morning here, but I'm ready.
Nice.
I'm ready for some StarCraft.
We're on different spectrums. It's evening for me. It's like 5 o'clock. The sun's about to go down. It looks like it's gonna rain. Nothing's open in America. Perfect time for StarCraft.
How's your sleep schedule been like?
Awful.
In these times?
Completely terrible.
Nice.
But the one good thing about being NA is when you have a terrible sleep schedule, you get to catch a lot of the foreign StarCraft. So I've been catching some amazing StarCraft.
Yeah. So it's been pretty sick. There's been a lot of StarCraft. There's been GSL has started up this week as well. And we even have like Philadelphia going on. I believe they're like nearing like their finals at the moment, which is pretty sick.
Yep.
So
Wardy's having like a European Cup or something going on as well. What else is going on in StarCraft world? There's just so much StarCraft going on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think something that's cool. I don't know if you were around earlier on, but Red Bull is back in StarCraft.
Yeah, I started noticing that, but I didn't know how big of a deal that was.
Yeah,
It seemed like a big deal. I'm like, wait, StarCraft? They're in Red Bull's in StarCraft. Does that normally happen?
So they actually used to host NA-LANs back in the day. That was the big thing, like 2014, 2015. Like it was Red Bull Battlegrounds, and that they were insanely hype. Like Scarlet would play in them often, and that's actually where like that iconic moment, one of like the most revered games, was Scarlet versus Bomber. And yeah, like that all happened with them. So it's cool to see them like dip their toes back into StarCraft again.
Yeah. I saw something about it on Twitter and I was like, this seems promising, but I don't know how committed they're going to be to it. But Red Bull being in StarCraft is like a huge name. We got a lot of good news this year for StarCraft, especially with like, what was it, like 4 years guaranteed or 3 years more of StarCraft?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It's good times.
And the new tournament system, yeah. Good times, sad times. We're losing the old tournaments, getting some new tournaments.
Yeah.
New players, old players, all types of stuff going on.
Everyone's in quarantine, but at the same time, everyone's playing more. So.
I feel like regardless of all going on, it's never been a better time to be a StarCraft fan. And speaking of StarCraft fans, that's why everyone is here. That's why we're here. We're in game number 1, Nightshade LE. Spawning here in the top left-hand corner, playing for The Bad Gaming. It is YanXII. We're not fully confirmed on what it stands for.
And in the bottom right-hand corner of Nightshade LE, we have the Peruvian Terran representing New Angels. It is Serch.
So what are you going with? Are you going with 12s?
I'm going with I'll go with YanXII.
Oh man, I was gonna take that.
it flows off the tongue a little bit better. Like Yan 12 is a little bit. You got to pause a little bit there.
Well, I mean, if it's supposed to be another language, then it'd be like Yan. However you say 12 in that language.
In Brazilian, we'll have to.
Is Roman numerals? Is that like to everybody, I guess? I don't know.
I think so.
I know the confines, right? That just goes for everyone?
Yeah.
But then that means everyone has to believe in the X and the I. These things that go happen on these international casts. We're battling with Latin America, North America. We got Canada somewhere in the bracket, maybe, I hope.
Look, we'll figure it out. It's fine.
We're figuring things out as we go, but we can already see a little bit of a difference in the builds here. I'm not sure it's super huge, just it's slight difference.
Yeah, it's very slight. It's very, like, for the most part, they're doing the same thing, just like a little bit of timing difference here and there.
Ooh, actually, Serch has 2 gases, I just noticed.
Yeah, he has 2 gases. He has 4 mining.
2 SCVs, yeah, 4 mining. And on the other side, there's only 1 mining. Maybe, I don't know.
Does it mean anything?
I don't know if that actually matters. Yeah, does it mean anything? Is it a misclick?
Yeah, and so far both of these players have been playing pretty similarly. Like even with their opening Reapers, like they've kept them at home, like defensively. You know, they're not pushing out across the map. They're just kind of just chilling. They're both going for the same like Hellion opening as well.
Yeah, they both went for double Reaper. Is that standard?
Yeah, especially when you play defensively. Because if you go out with only one and your opponent has two, then you just lose your Reaper. Like,
as I'm trying to read this build, I realize I do not know that much about TvT.
Yeah, there are these little.
There's usually a lot of tanks and a lot of slow-moving pushes.
Yeah. Like this is like the typical like defensive play. Like you can be more aggressive, but again, like it comes down to Reaper wars. Like early on.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you go Reaper and your opponent goes Reaper, then you both just have a Reaper.
Yeah.
so they go triple Reaper Hellion, double Hellion. Interesting. I started trying to off race and doing Terran, and I'm pretty terrible. Not an easy race to play.
Yeah, myself. Did you know that CCs cost 400 minerals? That's insane.
It's ridiculous. Like what? Why would anybody build a building for less than like 300?
Exactly. But immediately YanXII comes in and he snipes a Reaper and he delays the CC.
That like instantly changes the tides of this play. It's like he got the first grenaded himself there, but he got the first shot off, so that's pretty interesting. They made the exact same army, and it's kind of what I expected. Whoever gets the first shot wins. But the Cyclone's out. That should be able to do more than enough damage to get everything out of here.
Yeah,
it only has one lock-on, so... I always wonder if how the lock-on works. That's what I've been trying to work with now. I mean, like, I get how it works, but the Cyclones are just so hard to mech. Yeah. Trying to go mech, that's probably why it isn't popular, because it's just so much to deal with.
Yeah,
and I really thought mech was going to be like a new gold standard.
I mean,
at least a TvT.
Yeah, it almost was for a while, and then it wasn't.
Yeah. And then we all expected it in like Katowice, and we're like, okay, this is like mech season. Let's see it in Katowice, and I don't think anybody went mech at all. And then everyone was like, okay, so I guess mech is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, some people do throw it in now and then. I think like a familiar name in the bracket is Pure Legacy. He's back. It's been a long time since we've seen him in Battle of the Americas, but he often played mech.
Yeah, I wonder. It's going to be fun seeing Pure Legacy. No telling where Pure Legacy's at this point.
Yeah, and YanXII, he keeps getting in and getting more and more kills. Like, he's so far ahead in workers just because of this harass, like, and delaying the CC in the beginning.
He's gonna get one more? Ooh, he got one more right at the end there. That was cool. They blew up at the same time. Such a dedicated Reaper. With his last breath, he just took out an SCV. The training they must go through to be able to steady shoot at a little SCV while a tank's blasting at you. Okay, well, he discovered there's a good defense at home for YanXII. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's YanXII.
Hopefully. Why not?
It sounds cool. If not, it is now.
It does.
That's what he's going by now.
Yeah. And again, both players kind of going for pretty similar openers. Maybe Serch a little bit more factory heavy. I think he has a higher tank count. He's got his Cyclones. He has 3 Ravens as well, as opposed to the 2 here from YanXII, as he has stopped Raven production.
Yeah, so I'm wondering who has a push in mind first, because I highly doubt they're just going to sit on the opposite sides of the map and just let each other build all day. Somebody's going to have to do some damage. I mean, YanXII did do a decent amount of damage there on the worker line, but Serch has a 3rd base secured already.
Yeah, he already has his
Yan
3rd
has no idea.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no 3rd out yet. Like, something's got to come.
Yeah,
There's a lot of tanks.
These pushes can be so weird because in the end it kind of all comes down to the Raven control, because you can just disable tanks immediately with that.
I was gonna say there's 3 tanks and 3 Ravens, so I don't think this goes too good for Yan, because even if he only gets 1 or 2 tanks with the Ravens, he also has his own tanks.
Are we gonna see the Ravens disable each other?
The Ravens disable each other. That'd be hilarious. Just a bunch of Ravens ornaments flying around. Okay, so Serch or Yan got the good Ravens off, but I don't. Serch is playing it pretty safe. He's not committing yet, not shooting off any Ravens. Keep saying shooting off Ravens. He doesn't shoot off the Ravens, but I forgot what the thing's called.
Yeah. Serch, he's being really conservative with his energy on his Ravens. He hasn't used anything quite yet, but he doesn't have too much to push in with. Like, he just has tanks. He doesn't have, like, Cyclones or Marines.
Yeah, it's not like he can pounce on the army once he disables it all.
Exactly.
But he did hold on to that base, even though he might have lost some workers and had to move it and took some damage. Yan realized, like, okay, I'm just kind of wasting time here. Let me move.
Yeah, and he kind of did what he wanted to do. You know, he shaved off a couple of workers, a couple of tanks, forced a lift off, and behind that, like, Yan, he's getting a 4th base. He's completely, like, saturated on 3 bases. Like, he's looking fine.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what all he needed to do was buy time. As long as you can't mine from there, and then he got his base up. He's like, all right, I got my base up. Now you can mine again.
Yeah, and that's
really sometimes dominant and controlling the way this game's playing out. Ooh, this is a nice positioning here.
Ooh.
Vision disables a tank. He can't really do too much from here besides pick off that tank. Ooh, what? Maybe... Okay, he should be pushed back. He doesn't want to lose all these Ravens. Oh, he target fired his own Ravens on accident. Oh, no, he didn't. Never mind. They look blue to me. I'm terrible at TvT.
They all got focused down by the Vikings. Like, all the Ravens were down for Yan, so even though he has all those tanks, he could just drop the Vikings on them.
Yeah.
He's doing it!
Ooh.
I don't know if it was the right play. Yeah.
Nah, it definitely was not the right play.
God.
That many Marines. Wow, he hadn't played that good. I don't know what went on. TvT's rough. Like, I thought I knew about TvT, and then I tried to play TvT, and I'm like, what is going on here?
It was looking good for Serch. Like, the idea was there. Like, he killed all the Ravens. He got air control. He has all these leftover Vikings. He's like, yo, I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna land, and I'm gonna kill everything. He lands, and then he just dies. It's like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, oh, I got a huge army. But it was weird. Like, he landed half of his Vikings, or he left some up, and then, like, the tanks tried to just walk in, but they were in range of splash damage.
Yeah.
If he would have done a little bit more microing, I think he probably should have, like, sieged up a tank, moved in with a couple of tanks, and then dropped the Vikings as the tanks took the first shot. I don't know. I don't know what would have worked there, but
yeah,
I mean, it didn't work. It was pretty funny to see, though. It was like, oh, he got it. I think maybe no, he doesn't. Everything just dies, disappears.
I mean, it's hard because, like, when it comes to the army composition that. Yeah, the army composition that Yan had, that Serch had, I mean, we kind of talked about it, where it's kind of immobile, so it's hard to, like, pounce upon an army, you know? Like, with just tanks. Like they slowly
That's exactly what happened at the end. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like, he couldn't pounce on the tanks. They were exposed. He technically had the better army.
Yeah, like, he had the higher supply, like, army supply, but...
Yeah. Those Vikings just took too long to land. He probably should have landed the Vikings first and then walked them. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
That's something that we got to send to the Pylon show. Actually, not the Pylon show. What is it that they break down stuff?
In depth.
Maybe it is the Pylon. In depth. There you go. I'm gonna send it to in depth so they can break down how that should have gone. But map number 2, Eternal Empire. So, interestingly enough, I feel like the newer maps would be more favored for Terran. At least versus a Zerg, I guess, and a Protoss, but it's interesting to see what 2 Terrans pick out as their maps for each other. And game number 2, map number 2, is Eternal Empire. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of this map, it is a blue Terran playing for the bad clan. It is YanXII.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire, we have the Peruvian Terran representing New Angels. It is Serch.
I like the name.
Yeah, it's good.
It's simple, but it can kind of, like, throw you off.
It's simple. It doesn't have multiple different ways to potentially pronounce it, so you're not too sure if you're saying it correctly.
Yeah. It's a good. I'm sure you can come up with some play on words too. You know, like he's searching for a win here. But he's but he's not as hard as like, or as it's not too easy like time or some of the other easy names to throw in there.
Or true, like it's
true. Yeah. I can't think of any other good ones, but
yeah, you got to think about it a little bit. It's good.
The worst ones are when it was like Zerg versus Terran. The Terran.
That was the best one. What are you talking about? That was amazing.
That's what I mean by worse. It was terribly amazing. I loved it. It was awful and disgusting and everything I want out of a StarCraft game. So, same builds.
Yeah, same builds. Yan going for an early SEV scout as opposed to Serch, who's just kind of chilling at home.
Also, it's pretty interesting that we're already having fairly close matches like first game in.
Yeah.
Normally, you know, like the first round is like, okay, let's just go through it and get towards the harder brackets. But there's so many good players in this one. Like a lot of tough players are meeting up in the first round.
Yeah, it's really cool to see like finally like this tournament. It's not only just getting pure Latin American players, but like if you saw Pure Legacy's back, Vindicta's in the bracket as well. Like there's a lot of good players.
Yeah. We're going full NA here soon. We need to get Scarlet in here.
Gotta get her to wake up.
Yeah. Especially if YanXII Gaming, I don't know who specifically, maybe the company, the team as a whole, maybe one of the players, but they donated $10 to this prize pool. So that's awesome.
I like it. It's kind of cheeky.
There is a lot of players.
Yeah, it's kind of cheeky because
an YanXII player has won every week.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cham, I don't know if he was being funny or if he was actually meaning it, but he's like, "Thanks for the money" or something like that in the chat. And he's like, "Thanks, team." Like, you know, I'm sure he's just saying like, "Thanks for donating," but in my head, I took it as, "Thanks for paying me an extra 10."
Yeah. That's how I took it as well. Very cheeky.
But then Cham, and he's so nice, so I can't picture him being cheeky. So he's probably just actually being a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I want to pretend that Cham's being cheeky. I would love to see what would it take to get Cham to like BM or be cheeky in some way. Can't picture it. But this is scouted here from Serch. Now, whoever gets the first shot off wins, I assume.
Yeah, and it does also depend on like Hellion positioning as well, since they do AoE, and Serch, he gets the first shot off.
I feel like this is just like a animal planet fight. Like the animals bite each other and then just run away. It's like these are massive animals that could kill each other, and then like they don't even go at it.
I mean,
and now this is all shut down to the tank.
Yeah, the tanks here.
I feel like we're just watching like two artists here paint a terrible picture that we don't understand, but afterwards it'll sell for $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, you know, art can be interpreted in many ways. Okay, so like, it's
like me looking at this, it just looks like a bunch of things running around a map. But for those who can understand, this is beautiful art here. This is a dance that takes years to learn.
So what's important is that there is no tank because YanXII, he went for a Cyclone first instead of a tank, so it isn't quite ready defensively yet. So the units are coming in, and he should be able to at least kill all the Marines.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty big. I feel like the Cyclone, it's not a bad decision from what I've seen, but you normally want to have it in a better position.
Yeah, it was like in the top left waiting for like a Banshee or a Raven to come in for defense, but
yeah, but he didn't have enough. I mean, that was a decent hold, but he didn't have enough for defense, I think. Like he had one tank, he didn't have any Marines. What did he have? Just like a couple or something. Like you can't depend on all that at the front lines.
I mean, it just worked out in this like good timing because YanXII, his tank was just about to come out. When it did, it wasn't quite sieged yet when the units came in, so they came in at just the right moment. You know, to get the damage done.
I think even if he sieged it, they still would have been able to slip by into the mineral line. Unless it was siege on the low ground, I don't know. It depends, but yeah, that went good for him. And now it looks like Serch has a pretty big army, and he has the air superiority, I believe. Looking at the units tab, yeah, he does.
Yeah, like it's great because even though there are 2 Ravens for YanXII and Serch didn't get any Ravens at all, like he has the Vikings, and Vikings, if used well, they can just zone out the Ravens.
Yeah. I mean, if he could probably just take out the Ravens and then back up, honestly, and it'd still be a good trade. Ooh, that's a good call.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, forget the things. Like, these Vikings are gonna be the death of me, because that is his air vision completely. If he loses both Ravens, which means the tanks have superiority, which means Yan loses. Yan's playing is pretty good though. If only he had a medevac. Tanks are abandoning their position.
Oh yeah, they're all moving up to the high ground, which is questionable.
I don't think that's necessary. You could. Yeah, what's going on here? What are we watching?
Oh, he's gonna lose his Ravens. Oh, loses one.
That was very sloppy here. I did not like that play. He lost all his tanks pretty much for free and Ravens.
Yeah, what just happened? Like, he lost his Ravens.
I don't know what his plan
was. Like, he tried to interference matrix the tank was on the low ground, but he didn't have enough energy to cover everything. And now, Serch, he's just slowly pushing in. He's losing a couple of Vikings a little bit unnecessarily. Part of me wants him to land them, but he lost last game doing that. So.
Yeah, I really don't expect this from Yan at all. I think he should land the Vikings in this situation. He went for a counterattack. Maybe that's why. But the counterattack, as we can see, was not enough.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of workers are being killed, which is nice, but he really needs to focus on defense here at home. Like, this is where it matters. And he breaks out.
This is so... What is this?
Yeah,
what are we watching here?
It was. I didn't look like he could do it. He just landed 4 Vikings, and that was enough.
Oh my gosh! Vikings are OP. The
game continues.
Game. If you want to call this a game, I guess we can say it's no. This is actually pretty freaking interesting. Like I don't know where player stands now.
I thought Yan
has more workers. Yeah, I thought he was dead. Like that. He was completely distracted on the other side of the map, and he just lost everything, like his Ravens, his tanks. But he made a couple more tanks, and then he made his own Vikings and dropped them.
Yeah, and
here we are.
Yeah, that's how you TvT. I hope you're taking notes. You just do
you
things.
Just kind of just do things that don't make sense and hope for the best.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Ooh.
Just get Vikings.
Nice scan. Serch does spot them
right as he moved out. That's crazy. How did he know?
Stream
sniper. No, I'm just kidding. There's a delay.
You can see 2 minutes in the future. Oh my god.
Where's Serch from actually?
Peru.
That's right. That clan.
Yeah.
That clan you're telling me about right here. That he's for. It was what was it? Angels? Angels?
New Angels.
New Angels, NW.
Yeah, and a little bit of misrecord there. It looked like Serch, he attacked his own supply depot, and he's a little bit out of position. But
as soon as that tower went up, he instantly just saw a whole cluster of army 5 feet from him.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. I think he can... Maybe drop the Ravens again. I mean the Vikings, but no, I don't think that's a good idea. Serch hasn't really done too good with landed Vikings. Oh, he's gonna do it.
He could. I mean, there are a lot of Marines protecting the tanks, so you have to be careful.
Ooh, it's a good bait on the Marines, though.
Yeah. Nicely done.
Oh yeah, they gotta waste some scans here for that. I think Serch should move up, if anything, on Yan, because Yan has
these
no...
tanks, they're misrallied. They're misrallied.
That's bad. Oh, that's bad.
Is he gonna get away? The Cyclone should have him, maybe. Oh my god.
He got a couple Marines for it, though. Ooh, and in the north, there's a drop coming here from Yan. This is something I think we haven't seen yet. Well, not I think I know, because all we saw is tanks and Vikings. But... like, finally, a real push coming here, like some counter damage. I wouldn't say counter damage, but like a 1-2 punch. Like, he's not just moving straight up into the mining base with some tank siege and some Vikings. He's got a little hit squad here with some medevacs. But those medevacs are pretty vulnerable.
Yeah, and Serch does suss it out. He does reposition some of his tanks as well, getting ready. You know, it does help that he has a sensor tower as well, so he knows if something is coming from the right-hand side as well. Serch a little bit oversaturated. He's a little bit late on his...
He's way too oversaturated.
Yeah, he's so late on his 4th. He's only now just starting it. Meanwhile, Yan, it's already done.
Yeah. Yeah, Yan's just on point, not missing a beat other than losing his early units.
Yeah. Like Yan, he had the kind of a rough start, but he's kind of brought it back, and he's looking to me to be like a little bit of a stronger macro player. But despite that, like Serch, he's been pretty good defensively. Like he hasn't lost too much at all. Like he's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So far, anyway.
Making a lot better calls in the first game, I think.
Yeah.
He actually has a chance at winning this one.
That he does.
Not a bad spot, but that 4th base needs to be secured like yesterday.
Yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to right now. Like with the fourth base, with all this economy as well, like he's just skyrocketing in supply right now, and Serch, he's really behind because of it.
He's got to go for some sort of counter play. I like that Yan realized he's not going to win the Viking battle, so he's going to just go for different tech. And as I said that, he's coming out with double Vikings now. Making 4 at once.
There's a lot of Vikings here, man. There's a lot of Vikings.
I don't think it's a good call to try and counter Viking. But I mean, I guess you throw in a couple Vikings, a Raven or two, get a Dorito cannon or something. What do they call it? Interference Matrix?
Yeah, Interference Matrix.
Yeah. There you go, yeah. And then what is it that the Templars do? It's feedback.
Yeah, feedback.
I was actually thinking today I should make some StarCraft like flashcards so I can remember these names someday.
But it's fun.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe so I can buy some StarCraft flashcards.
It's fun when you call the Colossus either Giraffes or Cyclones, and it's like, but we understand what you're saying though. It's like,
yeah, everybody knows. Like at this point, we're probably just gonna start calling him that because I'm gonna call him that so much. Oh, that was probably interesting. Yeah, I did not know that was going to go so well for Yan.
Yeah, and he pushes in, kills the majority of the tanks, but Serch lands the Vikings, and he's able to push it back. And, oh my god, 13 workers went down because of this drop.
I don't think anybody could tell you how to play TvT. Because I don't know how to explain what just happened. How a bunch of Marauders run through, like, 15 tanks.
Yo, Marauders are pretty good at
and then
breaking.
How, like...
Yeah.
And then like 20 Marines die to like 8 Vikings. Not literally, whoa. Like, I just don't understand anything that has gone on here in this game. Marauders are so good.
Yeah.
Why does not everybody use them? Yan is pretty hefty on the upgrades though.
I mean, this is where we can see like their divergence in style. You know, YanXII, he's going for this bio style. Meanwhile, Serch, he's going for this mech style, heavy Vikings, Hellions, Cyclones, tanks, which is good. But again, like if you're not like properly in position, like Marauders can just come in and just end your life. Like it's so difficult.
I feel like Yan's better at adapting. Even though we've only seen 2 games, I feel like Yan can read his opponent, you know, attack while still switching it up. Like in the beginning, Serch did do some nice damage, but we saw him lose all his tanks and all his units, and then now we see Yan just expanding, exploding in economy. He's getting another CC. He already has another CC in the north on top of...
Yeah.
He's got like extra CCs everywhere. Building a CC next planetary. Marauders just seems to be the move. Yeah, like Yan knows how to read his opponent and adapt. Serch has just been trying to throw his army out there at Yan. I don't think he's really trying to counter Yan, but more so go for his own build.
Yeah, to be fair, like the good thing about mech is that like you can like maintain a position so well. So defensively is where Serch will be at his best. But here we have Yan coming in. Oh, he has Liberators as well, which will help so much against tanks.
That's a good one. He's got a stem in there, but carefully. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So he has to target fire the Liberators, which gives Yan time to shoot down the Vikings, and he completely destroys the Viking army.
There's so many Vikings.
He can just completely drop on this.
Yeah, if he wanted to, he totally could. But he's going for a flank with the Vikings.
Yeah, he can drop anywhere else.
It looks like he's hunting
this
reinforcements.
Is like when you have the I was gonna say it's like when you have the corruptors out and there's no anti-air.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go ahead and start peeing on stuff or vomiting, whatever they do. I'm not a Zerch scientist. Yeah. Oh, so he's going for the production. He's going right for the throat.
Yeah, meanwhile, we've got a base trade going on, kind of like Serch just abandoned his position.
A couple more bases. If we're looking at units here.
Jesus Christ.
The army's still way better for Yan. Like, Yan could wipe out all of Serch's bases before Serch destroys, like, this one little outpost.
Mm-hmm.
GG. Serch realizes what he's done and has to tap out. I can't believe Yan had that much money. He built like 6 CCs right there at the end.
That was borderline BM.
Yeah, that was a little much. A little bit much. But it's secured in the win, so you do what you got to do. Round number 1. Matchup number 1.
Yeah, GG YanXII for taking out another one of his Latin American fellow Terrans. We don't get a lot of TvTs here, as you can imagine.
I was gonna say, yeah. I almost feel like it's unfortunate that one Terran had to go this early, you know? Like if they both matched up against a Zerg and they both took out a Zerg, that'd be cool because then we'd have 2 Terrans continuing on. But yeah, a little unfortunate. We don't ever get a TvT and we probably won't for the rest of the day. I'm completely making it up. I have no idea. I'm sure we'll get some Terrans again. It's usually TvZ towards the end of the bracket.
Yeah.
Who's our one Protoss? I forget who our Protoss is that always comes.
Solid 2. We've got a 3.
Yeah, we've got a solid 2. It's not just one. It's not just, we got 2.
Yeah. we got Pili Pili who shows up every now and then.
Pili.
As well as Paddy Mac, who we followed a lot last week. As if you remember, he almost took out Cham. Like that was like the big thing. It was.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw Pili Pili on streaming the other day, and I watched his Twitch for a second, so that was cool. It's always cool to see some of these players hop on streams and be on Twitch and stuff because, you know, it's a small community out there, so it's easy to be seen. I encourage all the players to stream more because I would watch, and I'm pretty sure anyone else would watch. So it's fun watching someone play better than you.